Hey, everybody. Oh, sorry.
Hi, everybody. Yes.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Terrance, and today we are doing a live draw.
That's right. We're going to take the characters that we wrote, we brainstormed last time on the last episode, and we're going to sit down and do a little visual design. We're going to draw it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You want to go over a brief overview of what our character was last time?
Yeah, let's take a look.
We have Clavis, the heroic.
Clavis is the name of the hero.
Yes.
And the civilian name is Harper Keys. Clavis is Harper Keys. And Clavis is basically like a biblically accurate angel. That
there was something about a potato, I recall. That's what I was trying to look at.
Brainstorm, but the potato part that didn't really play. The eyes were the big thing that came out of that. So what happened was Clavis is a biblically accurate angel that was that decided to be a conscientious objector in some sort of cosmic battle, and ended up hiding out in Utah, and turned itself into a humanoid, an androgynous humanoid locksmith.
It's in Idaho. You said Utah.
Sorry, I meant Idaho because that's the potato state. That's where potatoes
potato. That's not. I was remembering the potato part, but you just put biblically accurate angel.
This is where actually listening to our episodes, Terrance, comes in handy.
Well, because I had the episode that it was a potato. I'm still drawing a potato.
We did start with. We moved on from the potato, but okay.
Well, I thought that the biblically accurate angel part was that it's like, you want to go to the image of the angels?
Yeah. Yeah. No. That's our references. We don't need that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, but it gives you an understanding of the non-human form.
We don't have to go. You see, this is the thing. We shouldn't have to go over everything we discussed last time.
No, we're not.
We didn't talk about potatoes. You know why? Because one of the prompts was russet.
Right.
And that's how we got on potatoes. Well, we ended up settling on eyes. And that led to the whole biblically accurate angel thing, where there's the biblically accurate angels have a whole boatload of eyes all over them. Now you can show that pic.
I was going to say, we did have a viewer, what are they now? Mentioned something about, so an audience member mentioned something about tater tots. It could be
Maybe that's our locksmith's favorite food. But the locksmith is in Idaho and has a stutter.
Yes, has difficulty communicating, has a stutter.
But when they... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just continuing. Has what was the power? The unlocking doors power, locking up evil entities, and some shape-shifting abilities.
Yeah, so it's, the shape-shifting basically is going back to the biblically accurate angel form. We don't think it's actually a literal angel, but it looks like an angel from the Bible, and it's really scary looking because it's got the big thing that has a lot of eyes all over it.
Yeah, eye mouths.
Eye mouths, that's right.
Yes.
The eyes and mouths are the same, which leads to communication difficulties in its angelic form as well, because it actually talks. It's got like this 4-dimensional brain, so it's like talking, it's talking 4 different ways at once. It's kind of difficult to understand what's going on. But it has the powers of unlocking doors, which could be dimensional doorways, could be literal regular doorways, but it also has the ability to lock doors and portals and things like that.
Right.
And that's actually one of its things, is that it goes around and it tries to lock out evil or troublesome entities.
I'm looking at our list here, and I'm looking at skills.
Yeah.
What is Cincino? Do you recall?
Oh, clavis meant lock or key. No, so Cincino may be key. I don't remember. Sorry, that's
That's what I'm like.
So that was I was looking at the Latin translation there. Oh god, it's actually a Pokemon. Turns out, it's a furry gray chinchilla-like Pokemon. That was not intentional. In Latin, it means a lock of curly hair. Oh, interesting. Okay. So anyway, those are useless. Those were. I was just looking for a place to put something, and that is meaningless. So
okay, that's an interesting word to just randomly have there.
All right, another type of lock.
So we have an androgynous human form and a monstrous heroic form.
Yeah.
So.
And this is the thing. Understand that our in human form it's less powerful. It's more powerful in its angelic form, but in its humanoid form, it gets along with human society a hell of a lot better.
Right.
One thing to know is that it's like that we kind of doubled up on we equivocated on the word key. So clavis actually is more like a legend on a map.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we kind of hooked on that, and the idea is that clavis is actually like a living Rosetta Stone. So people come searching out clavis to try to get sort of a translation between different, or transmutation between different realities and things like that. Or what was your understanding of that, Terrance?
No, just the key in multiple forms of the use of the word. Yeah. Like it was a key to 2 things and 4 things, and is existing as a like
so clavis is almost like a nexus of all realities unto itself.
Almost. Yeah.
Or certainly a means of getting to something like that. So just to I like to tie things into Terrance's favorite superheroes, like Man-Thing.
Like Man-Thing.
So that
he's right there. That's my Man-Thing right there.
You see Man-Thing there behind him? No. Well, so all right, so let's we need to come up with a catchphrase for the next portion. It's like, let's draw, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's draw out.
Actually, did we just call this a live draft? It's still a live draw. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, this is our live draw. Let's live draw.
All right, so let's set up our spaces here.
That's right. Gotta bring on. This will be
then
my.
You want to keep that up?
Well, this is going to be my little space here, and then you've got to bring up your.
Yeah, I've got to close this so that I can.
I don't think we can share. I got the reference on my screen just because I need a reference on my screen.
Okay. So give me 1 second while I bring up my other screen. Oops, there we go.
We got to rearrange this. There we go. Oh, wow. You rearranged it quick. Okay. All right, folks. Let the drawing begin.
Yes.
So, okay. Just thinking about how regal a locksmith this would be. I'm imagining that. Did we came up? It was Harper Keyes. Thinking that would be kind of like a Tilda Swinton type of character. So maybe we can get a Tilda Swinton picture.
We said Tilda Swinton, David Bowie.
Yeah.
Somebody who's aspirationally androgynous.
Yeah, I need to get some sort of sketching thing here. Okay.
All right. So. So I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I don't know, kind of long and lanky. I have to have some sort of tool belt. Whoops, what happened there? Why did it go to eraser all of a sudden? That's weird. Didn't touch the eraser. It's going to have a utility belt. You know that.
Actually, what does a locksmith carry with them? I guess, yeah, well,
it's like, do they have a work shirt? They probably have a work shirt, you know, sort of like Locks R Us.
I had a locksmith company, it would be called the Bagel Company.
Called what?
It would be called Bagel.
Bagel? Oh, locks and bagels. Yeah, okay.
It would be bagels because all we do are locks. Something like that.
No smiles. I don't see this character smiling, really. Do you?
I see them, yeah, not because they were kind of like a loner, trying to avoid like social cues.
Probably a good head of hair. Well, I guess this person's not the owner of the company, so
he's got a obnoxious boss.
That's right, an obnoxious boss. What's kind of a punny name? Like, what would be a good? I mean, I don't like the bagel one necessarily. Locks, well, we could do all the locks of like legends, you know. Or we could do like plays on the word key, like we were before, like or lock, like locks of hair or something. Hair lock. Maybe that's the thing that required to have long hair. What if it was? Okay, sorry, this is totally random. What if the owner of the company is like an old glam rock fan or old hair metal fan from the 80s, and requires all of the locksmiths to wear like those hair metal like hair metal band, you know, 80s hair, 80s rock and roll hair. Have to have the huge poofy mullet or something like that.
I don't think you can do it. I do like the idea that he's an old 80s metal guy though.
Because I'm just thinking, like, maybe that's like, just because I'm focusing on the hair here. I've got this huge hair. I got kind of like a lot of hair for Harper Keys, and I'm thinking it's looking a little bit, it's looking kind of metal to me, and I'm thinking, okay, that's why they got hired, was because they had metal hair. Tool belt. Gorgeous Locks. That's the name of it. Gorgeous Locks is the name of the company.
The Luscious Locks.
Luscious Locks. How's that? You want to do that? That's because I'm putting that on the shirt, is the thing. That's going to be the t-shirt. Luscious Locks. No, that wouldn't be there. See, now I got to design a logo. Why is it switching to... I don't know why it keeps switching to eraser. And now I have to design the logo now. Am I spelling luscious right? Is it Luscious? Is that right?
I think so.
Okay.
Luscious. Yes.
Okay, I was right. I like it when I'm right.
I don't know. Looks like a dude.
What?
I was like looking at him. I was like, looks like a dude. I don't know how to make him more androgynous.
Probably work boots. See, this is a good excuse to put a lot of the Rob Liefeld locks on, pockets on everything.
Pouches.
Right? Yeah, lots of pockets.
Go extreme.
I think it makes perfect sense. There we go. Pocket crazy. I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, I'm so bad at drawing fonts.
LL.
Yeah,
Ladies love locks, right?
that's right. LL Cool Locks or something.
LL Cool J.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So we gave ourselves an assignment at the end of the last episode. I don't know if we did that publicly or not, but we decided we were going to read Werewolf by Night. We're going to read the original issues, part of the original appearances by Werewolf by Night in the Marvel Universe, just in preparation of the show that they're coming out with Diego Luna, right?
Yeah, well, that came out yesterday.
Well, the special did, but the series, has the series...
Is there going to be more of a series? I didn't know.
Oh, is it just a special? Oh,
it was just a special.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't watch the special because I need to subscribe to Disney Plus, I guess. But but I did read the comics to I think I read the three. Oh, what was
it was Marvel Spotlight.
Marvel Spotlight. I read the three Marvel Spotlight issues plus I read about 6 or 7 of the Werewolf by Night series, and I don't know. I had trouble with it. I'm not a big fan of Jerry. Is it Jerry or Gary Conway? I think he kind of ruined Spider-Man after taking over from Stan Lee. Even if he did do the iconic Gwen Stacy dies, the story, just because you read Spider-Man up to that point, like about a year before, several issues before Gwen Stacy dies, her father, Captain Stacy, died, and that was like a real gut punch. That was a real gut punch in the series, but it came out of the story kind of organically. Whereas like Jerry Conway came on after Stan Lee took off. And the Gwen Stacy one felt like, to me, it felt like it wasn't. It felt kind of thrown in. It did not feel like. It didn't feel to me as important as Captain Stacy dying, and it felt almost like he was copying Stan Lee's, killing of Captain Stacy. And so I don't know, but he also has more of a horror bent, which would be good for this, you'd think. But I don't know, man. I had some issues with the stuff. I guess I will say this: that is it Mike Plug? Is that his name?
The artist?
Yeah, somebody Plug. He was the artist for most of it.
Yes.
He was kind of hit or miss. I mean, there were times where there was like really lame comic booky kind of drawings, but there were times where it was just gorgeous. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say too. It's like some of his stuff just really shines, but and really evokes a lot. But then it's like, some of it was just really like drop the ball.
yeah. I mean, there definitely was. I mean, he definitely preferred drawing the thing that had the wolf in it, the werewolf version. He loved that. I mean, he did a good job with the werewolf. And I think the more monsters, the better. I don't think he liked drawing mundane reality at all. You know. What did you think of the stories, Terrance?
I would say that I read up to, I think I read the 3 Marvel Spotlights, and then I read at least the first, maybe the second of his actual ongoing series. I got distracted by Ghost Rider coming up in this Marvel Spotlight.
Ghost Rider is another one of Terrance's. Let's see here. Terrance's favorite heroes are Man-Thing, Ghost Rider, Iceman, and the Silver Surfer.
Right.
The classic versions. The classic versions of all those characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like some Spider-Man in there.
Well, would you consider him one of your favorites, though? I don't hear you talk about Spider-Man ever.
Because he's such a given, I feel. It's like somebody saying that Batman. It's like, yeah, of course you like Batman.
I'm not a big fan of Batman.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of DC Comics.
Well, DC Comics, I prefer not Batman. I like Martian Manhunter a lot. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, they're fun. But this is getting off the point. The point is that you like your horror comics, actually. So you like.
I like Man-Thing. What I loved about Man-Thing was when you're reading comic books, it was really such a different take. It was not. It existed in this superhero world and would cross over with superheroes, but at the same time, the Man-Thing was not a superhero. He was just and so the stories were something completely different,
Well, how do you think Werewolf by Night measured up to Man-Thing?
Well, I don't know, in the last decade or so, they've tried to give him more of a mind, it seems, and he does more.
Wait, Werewolf by Night?
No, sorry, Man-Thing. I'm still on Man-Thing.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was asking you to compare the Man-Thing to, but go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Oh, so comparing Man-Thing to Werewolf by Night. There was a series, and this is what reading it really reminded me of. There was a series, I think it was in the 70s. I think it was from the 70s, at least. And it was a lot like The Incredible Hulk TV series. But it was this guy who was a werewolf. And it's Lucan, I think, or something like that. Or that was the guy's name. And he would have,
This was back what decade?
I believe it was from the 70s. That's where I was 70s or 80s. And he would turn into a werewolf, but the Werewolf by Night was feeling very much the same, because it's kind of like you pick up with him a month later when he's about to turn into a werewolf again. There's all this time in between,
Well,
him being. Yeah.
That was a big issue that I had. It seemed like. Yeah, it was interesting that the reboot that I read one issue of a 2010 reboot where they turned it into some guy named Jake, who was a Native American, who who would become a werewolf literally by night. It was kind of actually a combo between like the Hulk and Werewolf by Night, in that he would become a werewolf any given night, and it would have to do with his emotional state, and which was interesting, I guess. I didn't like that one very much either. So maybe that I just don't like werewolves. I don't know. But I actually thought, with a werewolf character, it's really important for it to have a interesting job, something or some interesting regular life that, supports the werewolf thing. It's like, this was basically just a teenager who lived with his rich dad and his sister, right?
Yeah, his rich stepfather. Well, his rich family, like the issue where he, they sink the yacht, and that's not even mentioned later on. Like,
they drop a lot of that backstory. As they go forward, and it really is just like jumping around from. I kind of feel like. They did come up with some excuses to turn him into a werewolf outside of the full moon in a couple issues. It seems like there was the Darkhold. I think the thing didn't really get interesting to me until the Darkhold came into this.
Right, and I only got to the part where the Darkhold really they tied him to the Darkhold and his father being a warlock. So, and that's interesting. So his father was a warlock and a werewolf.
Well, and became a werewolf because he was a warlock, right? Well, I think they actually decided that he had gotten, trying to remember the backstory there, that he had gotten he had translated the Darkhold, and that's the thing, it's like translating the Darkhold, totally, you end up getting possessed or weird shit or stuff, happens to you. And that's like a number of the stories kind of revolved around that. I kind of felt like if you had a more interesting, if it wasn't just a dilettante kid, right? That was just going around, just screwing around, and then conveniently forgets that he turns into a werewolf once a month for 3 days. It is 3 days, right? It's not one night.
Right.
3 nights, I guess I should say.
Yeah, I do like the convention that they had with night 1, night 2 for each of them.
Yeah.
Transform.
But I feel like, this was one thing. Okay, I'm gonna go critical mode here. One thing that got me was that it was very clear from the get-go. I'm not drawing at all. They're very clear from the get-go that he is not super strong. He is a wolf. He is not super strong. He regularly gets beat up by regular people. And the only reason that he ends up winning in like the first 3 or 4 bouts that he has with people is because once they realize that he's actually a wolf and not somebody wearing a wolf costume, they get scared, right? They're totally beating the crap out of him. And then they get scared because it's like, this is actually a wolf. This is a werewolf. What the heck? And, typically I think werewolves, the newer version that I read from like 2010, that they made it super strong. And as you get, when Lin Wein takes over, Lin Wein, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. He takes over his writing. I think he starts adding some strength to the character. I was
going to say, it seemed like he was getting stronger actually he got stronger from the first, his first bout with a wolf to, fighting people.
He gets beat up by a midget later on. Sorry, that's not like, that was not politically correct. I apologize. That was not sensitive. But but it was like by a circus person.
The little person.
Later on, and it's just, and again, it's the surprise of the whole thing that ends up being like, it's the horror, and I feel like the impact of that is kind of dulled because we know he's a werewolf already. We're not
Right.
surprised by this. And I understand, like, if you're in a movie or something and you've not seen the big reveal, that it's kind of a big thing. But if you're reading this comic, you already know that he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was interesting. But yeah, I just like, what are good professions for a werewolf that would lead into interesting stories? I kind of feel like you'd want to have something like, if you're an archaeologist or something, it kind of makes sense. You know, it's like you're going to get stuck into a, kidnapped or stuck in a tomb or something. And it's like, hey, turning into a werewolf might help you out, Or what are situations where you wouldn't know if there was a full moon? What if you're an astronaut? Here's a question. If you're an astronaut, are you just a wolf all the time? How does that work?
Wait, didn't J. Jonah Jameson's son, the astronaut, became a werewolf at some point?
Yeah, he did.
What was he? Was he ever a werewolf by night, like the lead, or he was just a random werewolf?
Well, maybe. I haven't read all the issues, but it was I think it was like Star Wolf, Space Wolf, or then Star God. He came Star God at some point.
What? Okay,
that was the name of the because the J. Jonah Jameson Wolf got involved with the High Evolutionaries' other Earth, what was it, Earth B or something that's on the other side of the sun?
I don't remember that. I thought that was a DC thing where they had the planet on, like, Bizarro World on the opposite side of the...
No, apparently the Marvel did it too. But the High Evolutionary created his own Earth. And he mutated a bunch of animals, I think, on... No, well, maybe. I can't remember all this stuff. But there is an alternate Earth that the High Evolutionary did. And there is a character named Man-Wolf that was kind of the supervillain of that planet. And Star God, or the J. Jonah Jameson Wolf, I think, went over there and was fighting. I don't know. I didn't read those. That was from reading, like, the handbook of the Marvel Universe. I don't know. I didn't read those issues directly. Okay, let's see here.
Overall, what I liked was the way that his werewolf powers worked with when he was turned to stone.
Oh, sure.
Like when I'm working on a werewolf short story.
Oh, are you now?
And one of the things that I thought about was, the only thing that kills a werewolf, is a silver bullet to the heart. Like, what if they were just immortal? Like vampires? Because you never see that. You always see them as just they're the mortals who turn into werewolves and they age and all that. But what if they were the same as, and what if they were kind of like and it had that feel of like the Immortal Hulk, where it's like, oh, he's been turned to stone, but then he transforms from being a werewolf back into a human, and he's human, and then he's broken free from that. So like, just kind of like when the moon comes out, suddenly he's restored back to whatever he should be, back to his other form.
Well, yeah, I thought about that too. I thought that was an interesting thing. That's almost like it heals from anything. Potentially. Well, like, because it made me think, like, okay, if he died as a human, would he just come back during the full moon?
That's what I'd started with my character as, was like, yeah, that if the moon, when the full moon, it's like, I mean, obviously if they were like completely blown to bits or whatever, I don't know how that would work. Not gotten that far, but the idea that you kill this man, but then when the moon is full, he turns into a werewolf again, and he's been after he's the werewolf, he's back to being human, and he's alive. Well,
I kind of feel like Well, that would be an interesting, because I would totally be an adventurer in that circumstance, right? Because
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, it's like no matter what I do, I know I'm coming back to life at the end of the month.
And that's kind of how they did the Immortal Hulk, which was.
Oh, I haven't read the Immortal Hulk yet, so.
Yeah, I only read the first few issues of it.
I hear it gets really strange. But I mean, everybody raves about it, so it's like, even if some of the things I've heard sound like that doesn't sound like the Hulk, it may be a good story in its own right.
Where's the top of my paper? I don't know what happened here. I've lost the top of my page. I can't get back to it.
Well, I saw a couple movies this week, or in the last, since we've met, we got together. I saw Don't Worry, Darling, the Olivia Wilde movie that stars Florence Pugh and Harry Styles and Chris Pine. But basically it's about it takes place in this kind of utopic 50s society, and all the men are working on some sort of top secret. They're like in the desert, so like maybe Nevada or something, and all the men go off during the day to work on some sort of top secret project off in the mountain, over at the mountain or whatever, the mountains. And the women just stay home, and they're just like perfect, housewives and whatnot. But there's a mystery coming up. There's just one lady, she claims that there's some sort of shenanigans going on, and then Florence Pugh's character starts getting suspicious too. She starts maybe seeing some stuff that's a little iffy, and anyway, I thought it was actually really, really pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of like a Stepford Wives kind of thing. It is a sci-fi kind of suspense thriller almost, and it kind of eventually has a bit of it has a twist. I don't want to say what the twist is. It's hard to talk about too much, but it's very stylish. It's very artsy. She really took chances with this.
That sounds then more like why probably it's I don't know. I feel like a lot of films right now have been very risk averse.
This one definitely takes risks, and I appreciated that. Anytime somebody takes risks, that doesn't mean that I like all the risks that they took. That I like all the choices they did, but I appreciated that she took risks. I think the only complaint that I had was that I felt like some of the music was great, mind you. The music was great, but it was a little bit oppressive. It was just there all the time, and except for a few moments where it was quiet. And I thought they could have used silence a little bit better in the film. But at the same time, I can't help but think that maybe the oppressiveness of the music was an intentional thing. Maybe it was supposed to bother you and make you feel uncomfortable. But I thought it was a very interesting film. I thought it was interesting. The other film I saw, which I really liked, was called Barbarian, and it's a horror film, and it's by a guy named Matt Kreger, who I know as a comedian, actually. He was on the Whitest Boys You Know, or the Whitest Guys You Know, which was a sketch comedy show, which I never saw. But I saw him on the TBS series Wrecked, which was a send-up of the Lost TV shows, with kind of a parody of that. And I thought that was really funny. But anyway, he did a horror film, and it starts off. It's about two people who both booked the Airbnb at the same time, and it's in a real bad neighborhood. But they booked the same Airbnb at the same time. So they decide to share it, but then the suspenseful stuff starts happening, right? But what's interesting about the film is that it has this tonal shift about a third of the way through, and I again, there's twists here. I don't want to go into them, but there's a tonal shift that occurs, and not all films can get away with that. This kind of changing, from one tone to another. But this one kind of did, and I thought it was pretty successful, and it made for a pretty entertaining film all the way through. So I mean, it's not really a twist per se, but but I can't really talk about the tonal shift without maybe ruining something. But it was an interesting film. I liked it.
I've been watching nothing but Naruto all week. So I can't.
Tell me about Naruto, because I don't know too much about Naruto. I've heard a lot about it, but
it's a great series. I'm in the middle of the fourth Great Ninja War.
Well, what is it? Can you give me a summary?
How do I succinctly describe? Naruto is a ninja in the Hidden Leaf Village. In his ninja world, they have all sorts of like superpowers in a way, like ninja powers, ninja abilities that far surpass human abilities. Where he can do, they call it jutsu, like he can make multiple clones of himself. He does this shadow clone jutsu. There are these super powerful tailed beasts. This is what the Ninja War is about. This group that's trying to collect all of them and make a tin-tailed beast and take over the world, essentially. And what they've done to control these tailed beasts is they seal them into people. And so it's kind of like their life spirit force, which is what they use to do all of their fighting powers. The people that have the beast sealed in them have this extra monstrous amount of extra energy, which is their chakra, that they can use for their stuff. So Naruto has the nine-tailed fox sealed in him, like since he was a child. It's an interesting series because the first series, which was just Naruto, is him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And growing up and becoming a ninja and everything. And it starts off with him just being an obnoxious kid kind of that everybody hates, and then you learn more about like his backstory. The nine-tailed fox destroyed the Leaf Village and killed a lot of people, and so a lot of people resent him, though he was an infant that the thing was just sealed into. And then the second series, which is what I'm watching, which is Naruto Shippuden, has him grown up, and now he's like become a hero of the Leaf Village, and he's excelled and become this super incredible ninja warrior. And the war is being they were trying to keep him out of the hands of the bad guys, basically, and that's where the whole war is happening. And I don't know, it's just it's a really good series. It's just
now Naruto's been going on for a long time, right? I mean,
the first series was in 2006. Actually, the series is over. It ended. They are now they have a series of Boruto, who is Naruto's son, I don't know with whom because I have not gotten to the point where he's there yet. so so yeah, I'm just trying to like, I never watch the rest because I like to watch the dubbed version. and, and because like, you know, I don't always want to read all the subtitles, and the voice actors I think for Naruto are fantastic, and it's really hard to find the dubbed version, but Hulu now has a good number. Apparently they have the rights to all of it, but they've yet to put out all of the dubbed versions. So, for some unknown reason, and I don't know.
How many seasons are there, do you think?
Oh, I'm on the 5th or 6th season. I think there are 9 seasons or something like that. And it started in 2006 and went for quite some time. It's all about, you know, him proving himself as a warrior and a friend and a upstanding guy. It's a very positive character.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
His best friend on his well, not best friend, his I guess rival, frenemy, Sasuke Uchiha, on his original like ninja team, turns evil. Basically, kind of turns evil. Has a quest for power, and they're rivals because Naruto has all this inherent power. Sasuke does too, but not in the same way. And so he eventually, in his quest for power, joins up with bad guys to attain more power.
Huh.
Have you seen previews for the new Deadpool movie?
Well, I know Wolverine's going to be in it.
Yeah, that's all I know. I haven't watched.
I haven't seen previews for it.
Yeah, all I've heard was Wolverine's in it. TJ Miller's not in it.
Who's not in it?
TJ Miller.
Oh yeah, no kidding. What, he must have done something really bad.
At one point
he got dropped like a hot potato.
Yeah, at one point something he did. I think it was like kind of during the whole Me Too, the big Me Too.
Yeah, it must have been some sort of sexual harassment or.
Yeah, I think there was something. Yeah.
But his career was over like just right away. I need feathers. I don't understand feathers.
I'm still drawing a potato with lots of mouth eyes on it.
Potato. I guess I really need wings, not feathers. Wings.
Damn, Zach Nabbit. No. Trying to resize stuff. That's the trouble I have with some of this stuff here.
Yeah, I've got to figure out how to control my paper because I'm not getting it in the places that I want it, like to see what I'm drawing. Like to get the full image, I've got to have it this small, and that shouldn't be where I am. Oh, I think I figured it out. Interesting.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I actually thought the Darkhold. I don't know when doing the Werewolf by Night, reading Werewolf by Night, I thought the Darkhold was the most interesting thing throughout all of the issues that I saw, and my thought was kind of like, I wish there was really a series about the Darkhold, you know, and then maybe the Werewolf was kind of just like if it was a series more about like whoever of the people that hold the Darkhold and how they're, you know, corrupted by it.
Oh,
but you
yeah.
could have like you know, you would have characters like, you know, maybe you would have a werewolf, but it would be a good werewolf. But it was one that was, you know, just trying to keep the Darkhold, you know, from, or either maybe even trying to destroy the Darkhold, or at least keep it out of the hands of evil, you know.
I'm trying to keep my layers separate, and they keep screwing up. How long are we drawing for, actually?
Good question. It's now looks like it's about 5 to 1, so we're actually getting close to maybe time to wrap up. I don't know. It depends on how you're feeling.
Yeah, I've got lots of time today.
Yeah, I'm not pushing it here, so we can go long if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, you know,
Well, I've got a basic design figured out for both characters, I think.
We could probably start these like earlier even, and just draw for longer.
Well, I think it just depends on, this is all, we do prep time before we start, but I think for this kind of thing, since it's so mellow compared to the other episodes, then we probably could start earlier and just do, a couple hours.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a hangout.
Because that's what it is. Now, it occurs to me I have not been keeping the chat screen open. Has anybody tried to chat with us? No.
Okay, that's good.
And that's something that we should probably point out, is that we will accept that. I think we're set up to get chats from people, but I don't know.
Well, once I'm on
if you're watching out there, please chat so that send us a message so we can see if our chat function works, or tell us, or if you already have, tell us that it hasn't worked. We'll look at it later once we're done. It might be showing up. I guess that's something I could do, is review. Well, I could look on my phone here and see what we look like on our channels. Let's take a look. Okay, well, on Facebook, nobody's really watching. I'm not sure about Twitter, but we are live there. So what about YouTube? I'm watching it live now. All right. Yeah. So, well, we're going to try. Yeah, that's the reason why we need to do it as a consistent time, so that people know to even be looking for us. Now, So everybody out there, if we're going to do this, I think most likely roughly around, it's going to be Saturday mornings, and we're going to be doing it at 11 o'clock Mountain Time, and I guess that's 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So I guess more people are on Eastern Time than Mountain Time. I'm in Mountain Time. Terrance is on Eastern Time. So
I think those for our draw times, though, we could start, like half hour earlier.
Well, we'll just say that we'll be going by. I think we should keep a consistent time from week to week, and just say we will be going by that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there by. Yeah.
For the live draw episodes, we'll probably we might get started earlier than that. So that could be around 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 o'clock Pacific. And everybody always forgets Central. Central would be noon. But
well, I figure if I tell you it's whatever time it is Eastern, you can figure out where you're.
That's true. People know what time zone they're in. But I think it's more important for the other episodes, since they have timers involved and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, those but those are a definite time. Like this could go on for hours, really, if we've got the time,
So just to rehash everybody, we've got a new format. I mean, if you're watching this and you listened to the podcast previously, you know that it's a different format. But we're obviously doing a live streaming video, and it's going to be shown on live on YouTube, on the Facebook Heroic Origins page, podcast page. It's also going to be shown on Twitter. We're working on some other platforms. But that's how it's going right now, and then we're going to rebroadcast it on all the podcast places, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and whatnot. But the other change to the format is that we're going to focus on one character throughout the month. So the first episode is going to be which was last week's episode, is going to be just a traditional brainstorm like we've done in previous podcasts. We're going to pick some random elements and we're going to brainstorm a superhero all the way through. And then the second episode of the month is going to be the live draw, which is what we've got going here. We're actually going to sit down and we're going to do visual design of the character, and then on the third episode of the month, we're actually going to work out a story arc for the character, and that'll also involve random elements. I think we decided on six issues or episodes for each of the characters, so like a 6-story story arc, and but we'll have random elements involved with that too. So we'll add a random element or two for each episode or issue. And then the fourth episode and a fifth one, if there's a fifth Saturday, I suppose, those are going to be kind of more up in the air, kind of a potpourri. But we're going to have, guests on, maybe do like a happy hour kind of thing. And it won't be as necessarily related to what we've done the rest of the month. It'll be more just kind of a looser get together, or perhaps we'll follow up on some of the characters that we've come up with in previous seasons, and kind of rehash that, or talk about other projects we're working on. So that's kind of how we're doing it this time, and we'll see how that works. I think each season has been a little bit different, and we're evolving and learning, and I think it's a good time though. Okay, I'm gonna work more on that logo.
You know what this is reminding me of? My little potato thing here. My winged potato.
Looks like a hat. Looks like a fish hat.
Fish hat?
Well, it looks like it's the eye on the bottom looks like the mouth. The eye that's on the left looks like the real eye, but it looks like a fish eye. And it looks like the fish mask has been pulled down below the person's nose.
I keep trying to stick a tongue into the mouth with the eyeball.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not sure that it's working, but I don't know. But it's reminding me of the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I can see that. Luscious locks, boy. Well, I bought a new guitar this week. We got this thing called. There's a thing called Tabor in Colorado. It's the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which is actually problematic in a lot of ways from a financial standpoint for the government. But the basic idea, though, is that if they exceed revenue projections for the year, then that money gets refunded to the taxpayers. And so everybody in Colorado that filed a tax return got a $750 refund because we actually went way above on revenue. So could that be used towards other programs in a beneficial way? Possibly. But nevertheless, I'm not gonna what's the expression? Laugh at a gift horse in the mouth? That's not right. Look a gift horse in the mouth. Laughing at a gift horse in the mouth probably wouldn't be a problem.
I was going to say kick a gift horse in the mouth.
That might be a little bit more dangerous. But anyway, I got this. So this money came through, and I had I debuted my.
Does everybody get $750? Like, or just?
Yep.
Or you get a percentage based on how much?
No. Rich or poor, it's like $750 for everybody. So they just divvied it up. Yeah, it's not based on how much you paid, but so yeah, and so I decided to buy a new guitar, but it's not a regular guitar; it's a baritone guitar, which is halfway between a regular guitar and a bass guitar. So it's, for you musically inclined folks, it's about 2.5 steps down from a regular guitar. And it makes me wonder, is a regular guitar called a tenor guitar? I don't hear anybody ever referring to it that way, or some contralto or something like that. I don't know. But this is a baritone guitar. And one reason I was kind of interested in that was because I like to downtune my regular guitar so that I can get a deeper thumb bass when I'm finger picking, because I'm a finger picker. And but I think that causes tuning issues for the guitar. It makes it so that it goes out of tune easier. So I figured if I got a baritone guitar, then I don't have to worry about down tuning it. I can just use a capo to go up to where I was.
Yeah.
And then the tension on the strings remains the same, and I don't have any tuning issues, at least not because of that. And yeah, so anyway, so far it's been kind of cool. I think it's got it feels more powerful, if that makes sense. I hear that it's kind of muddy. It's muddy in the mix if you're playing it with other instruments, but but I think the thing is I could play bass parts in a pinch, So I don't know. Okay, I know what I want. I want a bolt lock. That's what I'm looking for.
I got a new pedal
For your ukulele.
Yes, for my expanded ukulele collection. I got a harmonic square. It's a little cheapo Donner. I shouldn't say cheapo. I got a little Donner harmonic square, which just is cool. Makes cool sounds.
Huh. A harmonic square. That's interesting.
I couldn't tell you what it does musically, like as far as all that goes. I just know it sounds neat. Unlike you, I'm not really a musician. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Well, I'm not a gearhead. I'm not somebody who really. I'm a songwriter, dude. Amongst the musicians out here, I'm not somebody who's known as. I mean, I'm a songwriter. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I kind of play guitar.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, here, it's time to do a shameless plug. Hey, if you guys are interested in checking out my musical ventures, check out www.davidcoyle.com. Woo! Or if you're on Facebook, go to Dave Coyle's Musical Extravaganza.
all good stuff.
That's right. Oh, I guess the padlock is the most normal thing, but there's that kind of lock.
Ooh, a combination lock. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Combination lock. Yeah, okay. I got an idea now. All right. Yeah, there's a way to draw straight lines on this, and I'm just not doing it. Let's see here. Does yours have that function where if you just hold it, it'll straighten the line for you?
I'm not really sure.
Watch this. Watch my screen here. If I do like a squiggly line like this, but then I hold it in place, it straightens.
Oh, weird.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Yeah. So, and I forget about that, and it's actually really useful to have. And especially when you're doing like a design like this, like a logo. So.
Yeah, no, all I ever do is sketch, so I don't use all the tools. I should learn them all, though. Okay.
But I do not have a steady hand, so.
Well, mine doesn't work that way that yours does. But I have a pen. Yeah.
You've got all that fancy stuff, and I got self-straightening lines. Okay.
I've just got a variety of brushes here. Oh, that's cool. I got an airbrush. It works a lot like an airbrush.
Yeah, I've got that function, but I've never worked with an airbrush, so I don't even know what you're supposed to do with an airbrush.
I've never worked well with an airbrush.
That's a different thing. I had a girlfriend that always talked about airbrushing, but she always talked about it in regards to like supermodels. Like these airbrush. I mean, she was fascinated, mind you. She was fascinated with airbrushing, but but she would also complain about supermodels being airbrushed. And I'm like, what is it about airbrushing that makes something look more is like better for making stuff look real? I guess.
Well, you can. I mean, it's just distorting pictures, really, in that sense. But I can Photoshop,
Well, this was before Photoshop, of course. This was sorry, not of course. This was back in college.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was Photoshop back then.
Was there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This wasn't as widespread, and
Did not know that.
that would have happened. Yeah. Adobe slowly got bigger and bigger and bigger. You used to be able to buy it. Now you have to subscribe to it.
So back in the early '90s, there was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one. Oh, I can't. It sort of suddenly becomes white all of a sudden. I don't understand why it does that. How did that happen?
Actually, you know what movie I did watch recently?
What was that?
Empire of the Ants. You know this movie?
I do not, but it sounds like a 50s film.
It was from the 70s, actually. Joan Collins. That's why I had to watch it.
Oh, okay.
It's like, wait, Joan Collins is in that? I was looking for like my youngest child enjoys the giant monsters. Like enjoys, reptiles, Godzilla. We watch all the Godzilla.
Sure.
And then but I was like, I was just remembering, like, there were like movies with like giant spiders and giant ants, and I was just looking for them. I found that one, and it was like Joan Collins. I was like, I'm just gonna watch this and see, because they were like, they were in the 70s. Like, my youngest is 7, and so kind of got to get the age appropriate,
Well, if it's in the 70s, well, I don't know. There was some questionable stuff in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
There had to be a nude scene in almost anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the level of violence. Is it, like we watched the Vincent Price, one of those Edgar Allan Poe movies.
Yeah,
and that was okay. It's
well,
like,
I would think that those would be, because the violence back then was more, wasn't quite as gory.
Right, exactly. So, but it's just, but you've still got to kind of, because like now they're, not rated, or they're rated G, because in comparison to things, they're nothing. But the 7-year-old, they're still pretty like, whoa. But at the same time, we watch all the Godzilla movies, and those are, like, we watched Shin Godzilla, and she really liked that one.
Oh, that's not working right. It's too busy. Yeah, that's too busy. I don't want to do that. Well, it could be like that. I do want to draw like a padlock with a mullet. Or no. Oh, like a. Oh, I know. I got it. I have it. I have it now. I do. That's.
I like my eye potato thing.
Well, I haven't really looked at your stuff that closely. Let me. I don't know if you've been looking at mine at all.
Yeah, I saw yours before and I liked it, but
There's this guy. Does it come up? Here we go, slowly.
Yeah, I like that.
So it looks kind of biblically. I don't know. It's got big like eyes and mouths and feathers. And then I've got our locksmith, who I tried to make androgynous with a mullet and lots of pockets. Lots of pockets.
See, I get mine. This is
does look like a potato.
but lots of eye mouths, right?
Yeah, it does. No, I mean it looks. It looks very potato-like. You do, and you've got the little belt.
If I was trying to describe it to you, though, I could end up with a biblically accurate angel.
Absolutely. But it's got wings. It's got little wings too. Yeah, no, you're totally, absolutely. No, that would totally fit the description.
And
I like it.
My locksmith, it just looks like a guy.
looks like a locksmith, yeah.
Like, it just looks like a guy.
I'm telling you, man, the mullet is the way to go. You got to get a mullet in there.
Maybe that's what I need.
No, but I finally have an idea of how I want to do the. Oops. Okay. Now, one thing I don't know. I wish it would let me do a perfect circle. Whoa, hello. What the hell? The currently selected layer is hidden. Would you like to open? Oh, I see. It's going to cancel. No, I want it. There we go. I don't know if I can draw a perfect circle. Ooh, I can. Look at that, man. Oh, that's an oval. But it actually... Watch. Hold on. Okay, watch this. I hold it down.
That's neat.
So that's awesome. Okay. That's because I'm so bad.
Yeah, see, when I get the circles and square like shapes, I do those fixes in Photoshop when I go to color. Because that's where I get the actual shapes. Although, yeah, no, I don't have any of that here.
So I'm going to basically do it's going to be a lock with a mullet.
What was the name of that Moloch? The villain from Watchmen.
Moloch? Was it actually a mullet, though?
No, but
I guess that could be like a... Are you putting... Nice.
I'm trying different hairstyle.
I like it. Yeah, I wonder if it allows me to pick like... I wonder if I could just plug in fonts. I wonder if that's even an option. Like a text box or something. Add text. But can I bend the text? That's what I wanted to do.
I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, go for it. We lost Terrance. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Heroic Origins Live Draw. I'm your host, Dave. Terrance is out and about right now. And we're designing a locksmith who's actually an ancient entity that looks like a biblically accurate angel, but masquerades as a human locksmith. But right now, I think we're trying to. Terrance is trying to design the locksmith. I'm trying to design a logo for the lock. So I don't know. It's probably going to end up more like what Terrance has done there, because it's simple. But I wanted to have a lock with a mullet. Yeah. Anyway, not that exciting. This is what I think a character should look like in its super heroic form. The idea is that the eyes on its the belts that are going around there, those are also mouths. Those are mouth eyes. They talk and they see. And they all talk at once, but they say different things. It's got wings.
Hello again.
Then we have our locksmith. This is my design down here in the lower right-hand corner. And it's supposed to be a they. Oh, now it's in the... Terrance is shifting it around.
But you're talking about it. You should make it big.
Just trying to create an androgynous, because we want it to be neither male nor female as a humanoid. And well, yours has got that hipster 70s thing going for it.
Yeah,
It looks more, to me, it looks more like a 70s hairdo, which I like. Mine looks a little bit more 80s.
I don't know, but mine looks, I don't know, it reminds me of, I don't know. It definitely looks like, it's like making me think of like Steven Tyler.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
he was young, you know?
By the way, I'd say that your design there, just the padlock with the LL, that's probably what it's going to be. That's a nice, simple design. So I'd say let's do that. But hey, you know what? I'll bet I think I'm drawn out.
Oh, okay, okay.
So why don't we wrap things up? I don't know that I've got more I want to do. If you want to stay on, you can.
Well, if I'm gonna draw more, I'm gonna switch over to Twitch just because I want to play with
okay.
Twitch. So, but yeah, I was just confirming how much time I had because there's nothing going on today, so I've got.
Oh yeah, I just don't. I think I'm drawn out. I don't really know what else I want to draw, and the design thing was kind of wearing me out. So, so I'm sorry. You just checked to see if you had more time.
Yeah, well, I heard the missus talking about like you're having the stuff painted and all of the walls are done, well, mostly done, and they look great, and we're getting cabinets done that are getting started, and so.
Well, I think going to Twitch seems like develop a Twitch thing seems.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like fun, and there's a whole art part to it that I've never done Twitch. I've watched a little bit of it, but I haven't had my own.
So if you do go over to Twitch, what's your Twitch? What's your Twitch handle?
I will. Well, let me see if I can open this thing that I had. I had a Twitch studio that I opened up, and I'm going to tell you, I have not completed my setup for it, but it might be a Heroic Origins. I think that's where I started from.
Okay. I think we were trying to make everything consistently the Heroic Origins podcast or something like that.
Okay. Oh, what is this right now?
We're going out to 3 different locations. We're going out to I mean, this is the name of the episode, but the sites are all. So this is going to be streamed everywhere. What are you looking at? You're looking at the editing the stream or whatever?
Yeah, no, you're. I just lost connection to you, I think, for a little bit.
To me? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh well, I stopped sharing my my tablet, so maybe that interfered somehow. I'm here.
No. Okay.
I like that. Now that you've put hair on the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Before I didn't like it so much, but the hair is like, that's nice. I like it.
See, I was just playing with it because they're.
No, I like.
I'm trying to get him to look less like a guy and more like a more.
Well, yeah, it does look like a guy.
I was trying to give him delicate.
That would have been just having long hair would make people think that you're a woman. No, I like the bushy hair. I like that. I like the brunette version.
Yeah, I think I do too, but it doesn't make him look any less like a guy, which was the point.
Well, that's going to be the facial structure, not the hair.
Yeah.
And also the body structure. You kind of, it looks a little bit like a hunky guy, right? So.
Yeah.
You'd have to change that, like maybe widen the hips or something, or the thighs, or change the bone structure a little bit.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have.
But no, but I mean, it's a fine picture. I'm not. That's it's all good. I like that the way it is.
All right.
Well, I'm ready to sign off. So, do we want to do our outro, or does that even make sense?
Yeah. Let's say goodbye.
Well, let's say goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for our live draw. This is the first time we've done it, so it's been a blast, and we're gonna probably do this once a month, after the main brainstorming period. Next week, we're going to have our live plotting. Was it live plot? What did we call it?
Live plot. we had a good name for it.
Plotcast.
Was it a
It
plotcast?
was going to be the Heroic Origins Plotcast.
That's what I think.
So,
yeah, I like
the
that.
idea would be that we're going to brainstorm a plot, like a 6-issue story arc
Yeah.
for the character. So this
Yeah.
design. So now that we have the visual design, you can kind of imagine the character, one of the versions of the character, when we're doing the issue stuff. So, by the way,
And
if
you can
any of
always send in
you,
your own.
I'm sorry.
Is that what you were about to say? You can always send in your own version.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that if you've got some ideas of the way this character should be designed, please email it to us at heroicpod@gmail.com. Or you can link to it in the comment sections of any of our locations. So YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. And then we can, we can maybe, flash it on screen at some point, show people what you're thinking the character looks like.
Right.
So so this has been a blast. Wow, we almost got 2 hours in on this.
Yeah. That's what
All right, do we want to?
this all day. I could. Anytime I got time, I can draw.
I like drawing. I think at some point I would have to do so. I mean, I kind of, once I got the design, I guess I got to come up with some action. Like you'll spend time rendering one picture the whole time, whereas I'm like, okay, I got a design. I need to do something with it, and I want to do some storytelling. So I could have done an action scene, I guess, or something. Oh, we didn't. Oh, I didn't design. You know what? I guess I could have spent some time trying to design the obnoxious boss.
Oh yeah, you could have come up with the side characters.
Yeah, the side characters. Yeah.
Oh, we should have mentioned that. The Inktober. Yeah. Since we're drawing and it's October, we should mention Inktober. And
so everybody, Inktober. If you know about it, or if you don't know about it, and you're an artist. I mean, if you're an artist, I'm sure you know about it. But we're in the heart of Inktober, and that's where they give you a prompt every day of the month. There's a lot of different prompts out there, but every day of the month to draw something and just show off your drawing and inking skills, I guess. Some people go more extensive than others. I mean, for me, it would just be sketching skills. I'm probably not going to ink anything.
I try to do my drawing, but not with pencil. Like just try to do something that's in ink actually, so it's no erasing and just go from there. I've been trying to refine those talents.
Well, when you're using these digital tablets, it's like, is it all ink? I mean, none of it's ink, none of it's pencil.
No, exactly.
You
You can erase anything and reverse anything, and any mistake is. But when you're just using real ink on paper, your mistakes are opportunities for original.
Well, there's always whiteout. There's always whiteout.
I don't think I've seen whiteout in decades.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist? Okay, never mind.
I mean,
you have whiteout at work.
Using it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
okay, on that note, though.
Well, this was fun, though. This was fun.
Live draw. We're winding down. It was a fun time. We got some interesting looking characters. Some biblically accurate, angel-y type things.
That's right.
And locksmiths.
All right. Well, we're going to hope to see you next week. And take care. Keep on hero smithing. True Conceivers.